What's going on, guys? RBG here, bringing you more coverage on Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, and today we got some pretty interesting news that's going to give some major details regarding specific characters. Usually I break down what Game Informer uploads, but this time around we're going over the recent Spider-Man Miles Morales video that was uploaded by IGN. They obviously see how much pull this game is getting, so they want to get in on the hype too. We also got more character reveals along with info regarding their roles in the game's story, so we're going to talk about it today. Now before we get started on the video, I got to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, TubeBuddy. As a successful YouTube user, I often get questions asking what I use to get my videos tons of views, and the answer to that is TubeBuddy. This thing has helped me take my channel to the next level in ways I never imagined. It's a browser extension that helps new and experienced YouTubers grow fast and optimize their channels. I've been using this extension for years and it's constantly getting updated with new features, like the SEO tool that helps me come up with the perfect title, description, and tags to get more people to click on my videos. It even provides you with analytics besides your videos to see how much traffic your video is generating from various social media sites. The extension is absolutely free, but as a special offer, we're giving a 50% discount for channels that have less than 1,000 subscribers that purchase the Pro upgrade. All you have to do is enter in the code RISINGSTARBuddy. So if you're interested in starting a YouTube channel or taking your content to the next level, download the extension now. You can do so by clicking on this link that'll be provided in the description of this video. But yeah guys, IGN dropped this interesting video yesterday called Peter and Miles Texting, and it pretty much gives us more details on what Peter is up to. It seems like Insomniac has been laying out a trail of breadcrumbs to give fans a general idea of what he'll be doing while Miles covers for him. It's already been confirmed that Miles will be patrolling the area of Harlem as Spider-Man for about a month. We saw Peter get severely damaged by the Rhino in the most recent clip that was released by Game Informer, and it was confirmed that he went on vacation to Symkaria with MJ. So I think it's safe to say that he went on a much needed break to heal up. Because as I mentioned in my last video, the last time he fought the Rhino, it took him 2 weeks to fully recover. As you may have noticed, Insomniac's main focus is showing how different both versions of Peter and Miles' Spider-Man are. Even though Peter is hip to certain things within the modern world, he may not be into a lot of things that Miles is into. There's obviously an age gap there, and as we all know, you eventually become the old timer who's out of touch. While Peter was able to access the entire map of Manhattan by hacking police satellites, Miles is going to be able to see everything that's going on through an app on his phone. And I'm pretty sure he'll have access to playlists that you can customize the theme music on, since he's said to be a producer in this game. If you remember the first time we see him in Marvel Spider-Man 1, he's filming Spidey with his phone. And this story is going to continue that trend of him being a teenager who's extremely reliant upon mobile devices. As you can see, we get another confirmation of Peter being in Symkaria, with him confirming to Miles through text that him and MJ have made it there safely. Another confirmation we get is that the new face of Peter that's been causing quite a bit of controversy will be featured in this game. People have been memeing it since Insomniac revealed it for the remaster of the first game, and this new post only adds fuel to the fire. I honestly feel like the reaction wouldn't have been as bad if the developers remained silent until we saw this new face in this game and the upcoming sequel, because seeing protagonist change is pretty common in video games. Like, we see how drastic they look compared to the original version, but we grow to like them. And we've seen Peter's appearance constantly change across various Spider-Man games within the Activision lineup, which people seem to forget since those games aren't anywhere close to being on the same level as Insomniac's version. I'm just saying. Anyways, Miles updates Peter on how he's been handling things as the only Spider-Man in New York, and as you can see, things are different, but not too different from how Peter goes about things during his downtime. Miles is going full-on pizza time, which has pretty much become a running gag from Spider-Man 2. If you remember, we saw Peter helping himself to pizza during the City That Never Sleeps DLC, and now we see Miles following in his mentor's footsteps, with Peter joking to him about how grease stains don't mesh well with the suit. Another thing I noticed is Miles wearing this alternate costume featuring his casual clothes over the classic Spidey suit that was more than likely gifted to him by Peter. I'm pretty sure to the average New York citizen it looks like nothing more than Spider-Man Under Armour merch, so all Miles has to do is simply pull off the Spider-Man mask when he isn't swinging around Harlem, and he can simply just carry the clothes with him instead of just hiding them behind a nearby dumpster like Peter does. Like, this is another one of those key differences that sets Miles apart from Peter when it comes to being Spider-Man. Pete would rather web his backpack of items on a wall, which is probably why there are so many old backpacks littered around Manhattan in the first game. But Miles tries to be a little more convenient with his belongings, opting to swing around with his backpack on, as seen in some of the clips. Moving on, we see Peter encouraging Miles to get more familiar with the area of Harlem, and he tells him to keep a close eye on Roxxon. Peter obviously knows that this energy corporation is going to seize the opportunity to expand now that Oscorp has been shut down indefinitely, and the fact that they have armed guards instantly raises red flags that they're just another shady company. So Miles is going to have to monitor them closely. Finally, Miles and Pete end the combo off with a callback to the last game, where we see that Miles still has this screenshot of Peter doing this sick looking pose after stopping Mr. Negative in that helicopter chase. Miles suggests that Peter should show him how to do some of those epic poses, to which Peter says that he can give him a few pointers, but the rest is on him. He also ends the combo off with an important statement telling Miles to remember, you are Spider-Man. If you've been watching the channel, you already know how I feel about this little statement, so enough said. I feel like we're gonna get this little text exchange between Peter and Miles every now and then when things cool down between missions. And I'm not sure if it's just me, but the whole texting gimmick reminds me of the Amazing Spider-Man 1 game, where you could see what people were saying about Spider-Man via Peter's phone. But getting back on topic, I want to go over the secondary characters we'll be seeing in Spider-Man Miles Morales. Something the creative director has stated is that Insomniac wanted to create a cast that complements Miles as a main character, as well as flesh out his support system. While Peter is a mentor for Miles, he's not necessarily going to be there with him in this story, so they have to introduce other characters who will play pivotal roles. Miles is going to be dealing with the issue of trying to adjust to his new residence in Harlem, and Genki Lee, who just so happens to be from there, will show Miles around. If you're familiar with the Miles Morales comics, you know that Genki essentially serves as the man in the chair, or Miles' personal sidekick. According to the Daily Bugle Now online article, he's a tech developer. It says, and I quote, Genki Lee hasn't finished high school, but he's already filled a hard drive or two with software developments any big tech company would be jealous of. Technology can do so much for us, says Genki. I'm in the middle of building a game-changing app that's top secret. Well, actually, I can say that once it's live, it'll be the go-to app whenever you need help. And I think it's safe to assume that this go-to app he's referring to is the Friendly Neighborhood Spider app, where you can access local and main missions. We saw it briefly during the Spider-Cat mission, and Genki more than likely advertised it to the Harlem locals to not only give Miles something to do, but to also make Spider-Man accessible to those who need his help. I feel like this is going to be one of many of his creations he's going to use to help assist Miles. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he creates certain gadgets too, because we see that some of the gadgets Miles has are similar but a little different from Peter's. Like, maybe he took the suspension matrix and reworked it into the gravity well gadget we saw in the stealth clip. But anyways, the next character we have is one we've seen in multiple videos, but we didn't know who she was at the time, and that is Hayley Cooper. Daily Bugle now says that she's known throughout East Harlem as the street artist. Her work shows that she doesn't let her hearing disability stop her from showing art is worth more than 1,000 words. I'm a visual person, especially with my hearing impairment, says Hayley. Aside from art for art's sake, I want my work to move people and raise awareness about issues or causes they should know about. Now, if you're one of those fans who has a very keen eye, you may have spotted her spray painting a wall during the gameplay demo. She was also seen leaving Teo's bodega, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting love interest vibes from this particular character, because every time she pops up, I notice Miles checking her out with his googly eyes. You see him give a quick gander at her while he's walking to his mom's reality, and he gives a little flirtatious giggle when she walks out of the store. So I wouldn't be surprised if her and Miles develop some form of a relationship. I'm not sure how deaf she is, but I kinda see Miles letting her listen to some of his beats he produced to build a bond with her, but I guess we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. The last character we have who seems to be starting a whirlwind of theories is Danica Hart. According to Daily Bugle Now, Danica has hosted her own podcast for a while, but the fact that it's quickly jumping up the charts shows she's gaining momentum as a fresh and fair perspective amongst other bombastic one-sided podcasters. Some people unfairly push one side of the story, says Danica, like they trash Spider-Man and his partner, but they're heroes, period. Not sorry about it. I just want to represent a realistic point of view so listeners are as informed as they can be when they pick a side. And I think it's safe to assume that the bombastic one-sided podcaster Daily Bugle is referring to is none other than J. Jonah Jameson from the Just the Facts podcast. It's literally the only radio show that goes out of their way to trash Spider-Man, so the Danicast will be the show that debunks some of the negative claims made against him. Something that many fans have been theorizing is that Danica could possibly be the Tinkerer. The creative director recently revealed that this version of the villain and the Underground are a group of youths as opposed to full-grown adults. And given the fact that Danica is young and sporting the Underground's trademark color, she fits the description. But I don't think that'll necessarily be the case, because if you're not aware, Danica doesn't have a history of being a villain. In the comics, she's a YouTube blogger who posts videos of Spider-Man for AdSense revenue. Her and Genki are actually a couple, and she's another person who knows about Miles' secret identity after Genki accidentally blurts it out. I'm not sure they're gonna make her and Genki an item in the game, but I don't think the devs will go that far to switch her origins. My money's still on Yuriko Watanabe, aka Yuri, being the true identity of the Tinkerer. So yeah. But with that, I think I'm going to go ahead and end this video. What do you think of all these new details? Do you like that Miles is going to be on his own and occasionally text Peter for advice? And how do you feel about the new side characters? Let me know in the comments below. As always, I ask you like or dislike the video. It doesn't have to be a thumbs up, it can be a thumbs down. Any feedback is good feedback and will only help me improve on future content. But if you really enjoyed the video, it would help me out tremendously if you shared it with all your friends and followers on different social media outlets. Sharing really makes a difference. But this is your boy RBG signing out on another video. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.